Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Doyle Family Detour. I'm Mike, this is Ellie. Say hi.
Hello.
That's my troll of a wife.
Oh my gosh, I did cardio this morning and now I feel like I have a cough. I don't know, does that
You
ever
can
happen?
feel it come up. Yeah.
Your chest is...
It's kind of like you getting your sickness out.
I feel like it should be the opposite. You start cardio and you're well. Anyway, we are in Del Rio, Texas, San Pedro Campground. It is our 5th night boondocking. How is it going?
Honestly, I'm loving it.
It's
been, I think just within the last 3 weeks, we have learned so much.
We've been on the road for over 3 weeks now.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. We forgot to celebrate our 3-week anniversary. I feel like that was something.
Why don't we celebrate it now with everybody else?
Here, cheers.
Coffee.
Water.
Bad luck. But
oh no.
That's all we got.
We make our own damn luck.
Oh, speaking of bad luck, I have to get this out of the way. Kind of topical, but my beloved Buffalo Bills lost probably the greatest playoff game most people had ever seen.
Bless up.
I am so proud of the team. Josh Allen is going to be...
Josh Allen, when you see this video, or listen to this podcast, just know that we're so proud of you.
Josh, we are very proud of you. Also, if you need tips for, when you're on the road, hit us up. we'll come see you on the road. We'll have a beer with you. We'll have some chicken wings.
I don't even really enjoy watching football that much, and that was an exciting game.
Ellie was on the couch like this.
I know.
And that, to me, was like, wow.
Yeah, I heard noises come out of Michael that were both frightening and exhilarating. I would describe them
There
as.
was some sort of high-pitched demonry coming out of my voice when we scored with 13 seconds left.
Good job, Buffalo. We saw that game at an RV park, and it was actually kind of funny because it was our last night with full hookups before this boondocking experience, and it was any time there was a huge play, the Wi-Fi would jut and it would freeze on the TV, and Michael would just be like, no, and he would have his phone out and just be ready.
I had backups available and ready to go.
But that was our last couple nights with full hookups, and we didn't even because we'd only up until that point had partial hookups, meaning we had our electric and our water, but we didn't have a sewage hookup, so you still have to dump your tanks. We didn't know that it was full hookup, so our dumbasses went to a dump station and emptied our tanks before we got to our site, which had full hookups.
Yeah, I was curious because there was a guy that was just kind of walking by, kind of looking at us oh, that's interesting. But I guess people go there if they just want to. They can pay, I guess, $5 if they're not staying there and they want to empty their tanks out. So I guess he was assuming that we were doing that. But right after we dumped our tank, we went into our full hookup.
So it was kind of nice because we could take long hot showers. Yeah, actually, so with the long hot showers, I turned the water on the second night, had the heater on, everything should have been fine, and it wasn't getting hot. So I was like, Mike, the water's not getting hot. And he went outside and looked and was like, oh, well, that's because we have a propane leak. It smells like propane and the propane's not working.
Oh, yeah.
And
scary.
So I looked it up online and it was call 911, leave immediately. So I'm freaking out. I have the baby. I'm like, Michael, what do we do? And we have a Good Sam Elite membership. It came actually for free when we bought our RV through Camping World. And we called Good Sam, and they just said to turn off the propane. They sent someone over, and thankfully, it wasn't as big of a deal as Google said.
So ultimately, we were trying to decide. This guy Joe came along. He honestly came because he thought, God bless Good Sam. They do a lot of good things. In this specific case, I told them there was a propane leak and they put it in their system as I need to get a jump. So a guy came with a tow truck ready to jump.
I didn't even know he had a tow truck.
Yeah, he came with a tow truck and I was like, hey man, it's not a jump. It's actually a propane leak. And the guy, he was actually going to school to be an electrician and he did a lot of plumbing work. So he was like, oh, I can probably help you fix that.
Yeah, he was so nice.
Yeah, Joseph really helped us out in a pinch. He realized that it was the regulator that was leaking, so we got that taken care of. And he also helped us fix our jacks. He realized that it was a fuse.
It was, got so much banged out in one trip.
Yeah.
And Good Sam pays for that service, so we didn't pay him. But because he helped us, like, went above and beyond, we just tipped him like $40. But now our jacks are fixed. We know the issue with our propane. It's just a simple part that we need to replace, and it wasn't like a big 911 Google ordeal. So that was good to be stationary at a place like an RV park where someone could get in really easy. And I think that's another benefit of an RV park. You know, you're not in the middle of nowhere to where if you need help, it's hard for someone to get to you.
Yeah.
The negatives about an RV park, and I think we've touched on this before, you are not really out like in nature. You know, you're right on top of your neighbors.
Yeah, unfortunately, with these RV parks, like she said, you're stacked right on top of each other. It reminds me growing up when my house was like literally 3 feet away from the house next door.
Yeah, no privacy, really.
Yeah, no privacy. I mean, the good thing is there's a big open space and a lot of little parks around, but you have to go there to kind of experience that.
Yeah.
Whereas boondocking, more or less, especially in our case right now, you have more area to yourself. It's a little bit more private.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think there is benefits to being stationary and having hookups, but ultimately boondocking is really what we want. So, segue 2, we are here now. We're on a 5th night boondocking. We have not had to empty our black and gray water tanks yet. In fact, I think we're doing pretty good with that. We refilled our water yesterday, another 60 gallons. I think my favorite part so far about boondocking, though, has been your haircut. We found a really awesome barber.
Extremely local.
You're super local. Highly recommended. And Mike got his first haircut on the road. Why don't we actually just insert that video so everyone can see? We videotaped his beautiful haircut.
Yeah, apologies ahead of time for the people listening to it on podcast, but if you're watching it on video,
you'll
definitely get a good sense of what happened. And if you're listening to it on a podcast, then just, use your imagination. You can pretty much tell by the laughter of what's going on. Yeah. Check it out. Ellie to the rescue.
Mike.
What did you do?
Oh.
What did you do? Ellie?
Michael, I didn't know that it was. Why did you give me this setting? It's like.
You didn't look? This is what I've been using.
You gave it to me with. So that happened. But, besides that, it's been pretty smooth here. We've had really crappy weather the past 2 days, and it's really nice and sunny out today, so we will probably get outside again. We took a hike the other day at, what was the name of the place? Amistad Natural Recreation Area. Why am I so bad with names? I think I get that from my mom.
Not natural, national.
National.
Amistad National Recreational Area. It is a national park. It's also a state park. I'm not really sure how that works. But we had an awesome time. We went in with really good weather.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day.
We got to see some deer.
That was crazy. So they're different than our Florida deer. They have like bushier tails and antlers, and they're bigger. And there was lots of wild deer, and they were hopping around us in the hike. And I was just like, how are they not getting cactuses? Cacti all over them. Prickles. Like Wesley just sniffing around got his first experience with a cactus right in his nose, but thankfully it was just easy to take it out. But
I mean, I'm not a zoologist, but I think it's one of those things where you have a variation of a deer that kind of blends in with its surroundings, and it's kind of the same color as like all of the rocks and the dirt and the trees and the shrubbery, so it blends in really well. I think it'd be the same thing for a Florida deer.
We also are really lucky to have good signal right now. So we have signal with AT&T, with T-Mobile, and our router gets perfect signal. So we've gotten a lot of work done here, have been able to work really easily. And oftentimes when you're boondocking in remote areas, you're not going to have that great of signal. So taking advantage of that now, knowing that when we go to Big Bend National Park tomorrow for the week, probably won't have great signal. I'll probably have to drive to like a coffee shop to work some days. But yeah, San Pedro Campground is where we are. Tons of open spots around us. Every spot has a picnic table, a little grill. The picnic table has a shaded area, and there's just, it's just beautiful. Very different from the RV park. You're nowhere near your neighbors. Like, there's so much space, and it was a really good first experience boondocking for us, I think.
Yeah.
And we also experienced in the past couple days how to get packages on the road. We got our first packages.
Yeah, that was actually pretty exciting.
There's a whole TikTok and Instagram video on our social accounts of how we got packages and how to get packages on the road. But just as a rundown, my mom sent us a package with a bunch of stuff that we needed or forgot to a UPS pickup state location, which was actually at a CVS. And then I had some things that I ordered on Amazon that I had delivered to another UPS pickup station. And then we also picked up a package I ordered on Amazon from an Amazon pickup locker.
So 3 different ways you can get packages.
2 of them was kind of the same. They were just 2 different UPS locations. But other ways you can get mail on the road is you can have stuff shipped to a USPS pickup location. If you're staying at a campground for a long amount of time, you can actually just have it delivered to the campground. Mm-hmm. Just let them know before. Like, we could have probably had stuff delivered to the next RV park that we're staying at, because we are actually staying at an RV park with full hookups in Big Bend National
Are they
Park.
usually pretty good about that?
Yeah, they are. They're super accommodating. I mean, sometimes people stay there for up to 6 months, so they treat it like it's your home, like you're just getting mail. Well, so you can get it through Amazon lockers, you can get it through UPS, USPS pickup stations, or delivered to a campsite. So
yeah, obviously the goal is to line it up correctly too, because you have to really look at how long it's going to take to ship and whether you're still going to be in that area, especially for people like us who are traveling full time. We already made the mistake. We should have been leaving today, but we're staying an extra day because we had packages coming in today that we kind of miscalculated.
Yeah. Well, we've been reworking our itinerary a little bit too. I have yet to find a map that lets me put unlimited stops in, because like Google Maps will stop you at 10 stops. MapQuest, shout out to the OG, let me put 27 stops in. So that's the one I'm using right now, and I have half the trip and then the other half. And I'll put those pictures up here if you're watching it on YouTube. But we are kind of reworking the itinerary to save on mileage, just kind of hitting some spots that we were going to hit later sooner, because we actually, looking at a map, are geographically closer to it. Like, for example, when we're in Utah, we're geographically closer to go to Durango in Colorado than when I had it at the tail end of the trip. So just kind of learning as we go with itinerary planning, actually what it's going to look like, and reworking the trip to make sense.
It's constantly changing, constantly morphing with all of these other factors that come into our lives, and Ellie does a good job of kind of steering it in the right direction.
I'm trying. I'm having a really hard time finding camping anywhere near Yosemite. Like, everything I'm finding is like an hour out, and even that is booked. So we're trying to rework the itinerary. We did add in a fun little surprise for Maisie, and also for me, because they have an Avengers Park, but we added in... She can hear us. It's we're doing 2 days at Anaheim for Disneyland, and we're going to go to Disney California Adventure one day, and we're staying at the Anaheim Harbor RV Park, and it's just like a 15-minute walk to the front gates of the entrance of Disney, so we'll be able to walk back and walk the dogs and go back and forth, but we're going to do
I think, something like this, it's a good mixture of real mountains versus magic mountains. You can have a little of both worlds.
Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain.
Oh yeah, she's the expert.
I worked at Disney for a bit, but I've never been to Disneyland, and this is really exciting because they have an Avengers Park, and I'm a huge Marvel fan, so I think it's going to be really fun. But anyway, that's been our kind of journey. We've done really good with boondocking. Our systems are holding up, and now we are going to have hookups for a bit, and then we're trying to do basically, like, for the foreseeable future, like 2 to 3 weeks boondocking, and then a couple days with hookups, and then maybe another 2 to 3 weeks with boondocking, and then about a week with hookups. Because originally our first through 4th, 5th draft of our itinerary was pretty much primarily boondocking. Like, I would say like 95% of the time, and we're realizing now that in order for us to sustain this lifestyle and to not get burnt out and to not start, missing sticks and bricks home, we need to have hookups every now and then. We need to be able to just take our long showers, to get our work done, to not worry about our black and gray water tanks. So we're reworking the itinerary also to throw in full hookups every now and then. I think it's important.
Can you guys tell who does the research in this couple? Like, we should just rename this podcast the Ellie Doyle Podcast. No. I'm just here just to have a good time, maybe throw in a comment or two, but really, I mean, you're the one who puts in a lot of the work.
Well, you didn't even mention how, like, you fixed our outlets the other day. Like, every time there's, like, an electrical or a structural problem, I'm like, okay, throw in the white flag, we're going home, I can't handle this. And Mike's like, I'm just going to go to Home Depot and get a new piece and fix it. And, like, he fixed it. Like,
If you've been following along, you know that I am not a DIY person. I was never raised that way. I don't really have the tools and the wherewithal to be, like, a handyman. However, in the past few weeks, it has kind of forced me into that role.
Yeah.
So
if we I don't have can a choice. Do this, honestly, anyone can.
Exactly. Like that's,
seriously.
And that's kind of the idea of this whole podcast, is just to kind of show you, the listener or the watcher, that if we can do it, anybody could do it.
Seriously. I mean, so what was the problem? Only like 2 of our outlets in our whole RV were working the other day, even with our generator on. And right. So Mike looked at the panel, and what was the issue? So
one of the fuses was tripped. And then just a quick YouTube video kind of showed me how to take out the fuse itself. It's an AC fuse, so it's a little bit bigger. It's like a big black brick, and I was able to take that out, get it replaced, go to Home Depot, get a new one, put it back in, and
yeah, that was it. And like for me, I was just thinking like, okay, we got to get an electrician out here. It's going to be a couple $100. We need to, how are they going to find us? Blah, blah, blah. And it was such an easy fix for Mike. And I feel like that is something that if you would have told us a couple months ago would have been an easy fix. I would have been like, yeah, right.
Well,
I couldn't do that.
Hold on. Like I'm always very willing to do stuff like that. I just think it more comes down to now Ellie kind of trusts me a little bit more.
For sure. For sure. And also like he's learned so much. We've both learned so much in these past 3 weeks, and we're just going to keep learning. But I mean, seasoned vets, if they stumble across this YouTube video or podcast, are like, seriously? They think it's impressive to change a fuse? But that's a big deal for us. That's a big deal for us. We got all of the outlets working in our rig again and didn't have to call like Good Sam or an electrician. So,
by the way, I figured now's the best time as ever. I'm just going to bring you back down to earth for a second. I made a mistake yesterday.
What was it?
So I refilled the gas tank for our generator, and when I put the gas can down, I put it in front of the exhaust pipe, and now there's like a little hole in the gas can. It's more towards the top, so like we could get away with it, but we might have to replace the gas can.
Oh, well, that's not. I thought you meant like there's a hole in the generator.
No. The generator's fine. It's just more like I'm the dumb and put it like right in front of the exhaust pipe.
Well, you can't get an old horse to do new tricks, or can't.
Yeah, that's the one.
Well, anyway, I guess we should get into our Q&A section now.
Oh, nice.
We didn't have that many questions this week. Please feel free to ask us anything. You could comment. You could send us an email to doylefamilydetour@gmail.com. You can comment on our Instagram videos, TikTok videos, and we'll answer your questions here as honestly and transparently as possible.
Yeah, we're trying to go viral on TikTok. So make that happen.
So one of our questions this week was from Kevin in St. Augustine. He asked how we are doing with gas, like what our gas budget is, and how much we're spending on gas. Is it more or less what we thought it would be?
Well, you're the one who did the budget, so I feel like you'd be best to probably answer this question. I could probably chime in with a few things, but why don't you start off? So we have a budget. We'll post a picture of what our budget is here. And we try to stick to that. This month we went way over. We did how we did for January, but that was because of a lot of things we've realized that we need for our rig that we weren't planning for. So it was a lot of investing up front to then hold us for the rest of the year. I digress. The budget for gas, including what fills up the generator, is $500 a month. We have, I think, gone a little bit over that this month just because of the whole getting there component, the back-to-back travel days. We pretty much, how often do we have to fill up? Every 200 miles.
Yeah.
We get about 200 miles on a full tank.
That's when we're towing the fifth wheel.
Right, and it's a 26 gallons, a little over 26 gallons to fill up. So you're looking at probably around 10 to 12 miles per gallon, which, on a regular car is atrocious.
Yeah.
But I guess that's the norm for when you're hauling 10,000 extra pounds.
Right. And so we pretty much going 200 miles a day, we were filling up like every trip. So we spent a lot of money in January with gasoline, but moving forward, we're pretty much at locations for like a week to 10 days to sometimes even 2 weeks. So it's going to be a lot less gasoline as far as towing our rig. Mm-hmm. And then it's just regular gas for, you know, just our truck, which is not that much to fill. I mean, it's the same to fill up, but it lasts longer. So, yeah. And then he was also asking like inflation, like, you know, like how the gas prices are right now. We found that gas prices were cheaper in certain areas, so we tried to fill up there.
It's crazy how much it ebbs and flows according to where we are. I've seen it in the past 2 weeks go anywhere from like $3.35 to like $2.84. And luckily with our Good Sam membership, it also comes with that they partnered up with the Flying J and Pilot, which are big like truck stop style like gas stations, and we get 5 cents off every gallon, which is, you know, if you're filling up, maybe it's like $5 extra.
It adds up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
So what were some of the cities or states that had the cheapest gas so far?
Well, usually I think more of a condensed area, more people, you're going to see higher prices, whereas if you're more out in like the country, you're going to see the gas drop a little bit or be cheaper than what you would see in the condensed area at that exact time. So
it's not necessarily by state, it's more just like by populated areas.
Yeah.
Good to know. I don't pay attention to that stuff. I do know that we try to fill up when we find that it's under $3. So he'll be like, "Oh, it's $2.89. Let's go here." Yeah. So, but yeah, I guess it's just less populated areas.
And the one thing we did, we've done this once. We try to plan out if we know we're driving that day. We try to plan out where we're going to get gas. So even before we start, I'm going to ask her, mm-hmm. Where's the Flying J on the way? Can we make it with the gas that we have, or should we just kind of fill up now?
Because if we can use our Good Sam membership, you know, why not? First of all, it was free for us. I don't know how much it is usually annually, but I could look that up. I'll put that price here. But with our Good Sam Elite membership, we get 24/7 roadside assistance, or like stationary assistance. Like if we need something, we've used it once when we were living in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we used it once in Castroville, Texas. Both times were an extremely easy process. And then you get gas discounts, which is great, especially when you're full-time traveling. I'm sure there's a bunch of other benefits that come with it, but those are the two that we use, that we can honestly say that we've used, and it's made the Good Sam Elite membership worth it.
Yeah.
Another question we've been getting from pretty much everyone is, are we safe? Are we okay? Are we been stolen or sex trafficked or anything yet? We're very safe. I don't think because this is a public forum, we should really say all of the ways that we protect ourselves, but we have cameras around our rig, security cameras that we are always able to access on our phones. We have means to defend ourselves in our rig and on our persons at all time. And we have 2 dogs that alert us if there's anyone in the vicinity. And Wesley is our guard dog. He sleeps with Maisie, and he will protect her no matter what.
Plus we have some high-tech locks.
Oh yeah, we have our lock that I won from Latchet in an Instagram contest, which is badass. And like most boondockers will say, you have to follow your gut. You have to follow your intuition. If you go into a place and you feel like it's a bit sketchy, don't stay there. Don't be like, oh, it's fine. Like, if it doesn't feel right, don't stay there. It doesn't matter if it has 5-star reviews on Campendium or iOverlander. If you don't feel good in a place, trust your gut. And so far, I've felt completely safe everywhere we've been.
Yeah. The other day, we were just getting ready to go on our hike, and some guy just stopped his truck, and he goes, "Hey, where are you guys from?" And I just kind of thought that was a weird question to start a conversation. And I said, "Around."
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, you should check out this museum, yada, yada, down the road." And I was like, okay.
It was a nice guy. He was just telling us to check out a museum, but we are always conscious of people in our surroundings. And yeah, so you guys do not have to worry about us. You don't have to ask us if we're safe and freak out anytime we're at a new location and tell us to stay away from creepy people, because we know. We're aware. We're good. We got this.
Yeah, I think well said. So back off, family.
Anyway, so I guess we will end this podcast with telling you guys how to find us. You can find us on all social platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest.
You just posted a really funny one.
Oh, yeah. Check out our TikTok. There's lots of just, like, it's totally different than our YouTube. It's short clips of just, like, us joking around, and it's fun to make, and hopefully fun to watch.
Yeah, shows the looser side of our dynamic.
Yeah. And yeah, you could read our blog. We have more informational blog posts that have tangible, clickable links for items that might help you if you're starting out in life on the road. And then obviously our YouTube. Please subscribe, tell your friends, like, follow, do all the things. And we're so happy to be sharing this all with you.
See you on the road.